What's up, Inquisitors? My name is Inquisitor Snow, and welcome back to Cool Weapons That I Have. Alright, so if you haven't seen the first video, you can go back and watch that. In the first one, I show you the cool sword replicas that I have from shows and games and things like that. So if you haven't seen it, go back and look at it. You missed out some cool ones. There's some shown in the background right here. Those are ones that are just always there. I've hung up some more of them, so around the room there's more swords hanging up. Maybe I'll show off the room in the future whenever I get it finished setting up, because I have to get another bookshelf first. Don't know when that'll be. But anyways, that's not what you came here for. You came here to see the cool weapons that I'm showing off. So, today's video is a little bit different from last time. This isn't going to be just swords. It's going to be swords, knives, and other things that I don't know how to classify them. So I'll show you those here in a second. But hey, if you would have been enjoying this video, go ahead and press that like button, subscribe to the channel. It would help me out a lot. I know, already begging for likes, and it's been a minute into this. But, you know, it's just how it goes. That's the whole YouTube thing, right? So let's go ahead and get started on the very first one. This first one is, in fact, a sword. In fact, it's a pretty cool sword that my dad gave me a long time ago. There's no other significance to it. It's not from a show or anything. I don't know the history of it. All I know is that it's a really cool sword, and I really like it, and I've had it since I was 14, I think. So yeah, this is the sword. Or rather, this is the sword. Right, so I'm going to be showing off the hilt and stuff on this. The sword grip is a very strange one to hold because there's no, like, protection or anything on it. It's not wrapped or anything, it's just solid metal. So it's a bit strange because most of my replicas are that same way, but it's just weird to hold pure metal. But as far as the blade goes, nothing particularly awesome about it. It's just a sword blade. I mean, it's pretty sharp though. This thing could actually cut through someone right now. So this one's I have to be careful with. I have it mounted on a wall for safety. It's held by a lot of nails to keep it from falling. You know, 2 nails. Because I'm not very safe. Alright, so let me show off this handle for you. So if you look at the top here, you have these little, I don't know what to call them. I'm going to call them griffins. They kind of remind me of griffins, so I'm going to call them griffins. Okay, so they're like little griffins, and they have little, I don't know what to call them, spears in their mouths. Yep, spears, good choice of word. This thing, it makes it look like there's something missing, like a gem or something that should go there, but it's the same way on both sides. So I don't think it's necessarily missing them. I just think I never had them. Anyways, going down, they wrap around the handle. If you look, it's like they're 2 snakes or something, and they're wrapping around the handle. So they go all the way down from the top down to the actual handguard. Now right here, this part's a little freaking weird, terrifying. It's a face. It's a terrifying face. Have no idea what it is. It kind of looks like a demon face, honestly, but it's pretty cool. It's terrifying, and it comes out with these 2 just cool-looking ornate designs here. That's the hand guard, obviously, and then it comes down here to a couple snakes on the side, and then just finishing up some ornate-looking stuff. So again, I'm not going to be going too detailed into what these swords are in this video. I'm just going to show them off and say a little bit about them, but I don't know necessarily the full histories of them, so I'm not going to try to give you the full histories of them. I'm just going to show them off because I think they look pretty cool. Alright, moving on to that one, we have a knife. Alright, so this is a knife. Again, no background to this one. I don't know anything about its history. I just got it from my dad's room, basically after he passed. So it's just another memory of his. But this is like this cool looking scimitar blade, but it also has like the handle of a kitchen knife, so I have no idea how to feel about this one. I don't know if it's just meant for like cutting bread or something, if it's supposed to be used in the kitchen. If anyone knows, please tell me in the comments exactly what type of knife this is, because I would very much actually like to know, if you have any clue what it is. I'm going to give you a closer look at the blade. You see it's curved like a scimitar would be, and the handle's kind of curved as well, but if you see what I'm talking about, the 3 little dots there that really make it look like a kitchen knife rather than an actual knife for using in a fight. It's very smooth though. The handle's very, very smooth, and it's real wood. But yeah, it's a very, very nice knife. And then the sheath for it is just this leather case here, but it just doesn't have any real details on it. It's just meant for holding the knife, like so. Also, I don't want to spend too much on each weapon individually because I have quite a few to go through, and if I stick around trying to talk about everything I know about each one, it's going to take too long. So I'm giving just little brief descriptions of it, and then moving on from there. So the next knife, this one right here, my uncle actually made, which is pretty cool. He made it from scratch. So if you see right here, you can see it doesn't look too professionally done, and that's because, you know, he's an amateur. He doesn't actually know how to make them. He just made one, which is pretty cool because it turned out pretty well in my opinion. So here, I'm going to give you a closer look. If you look here, you can kind of see those like brown patches over here. Sorry, over there. Oh my god, I can't point. Right there, those brown patches, that's rust, because this is just a metal blade that he found and decided to make this out of it. Moving down here to the handguard and the handguard and the handle. Handguard's nothing particularly special. It has this little lock here, so you can actually lock it into the sheath. And then there's two just like dots on the end. Nothing really special, just a little bit of ornamental stuff. And on the handle, he did some carvings. It kind of looks like a mountain to me. And then some like just ornamental outside lines to make it look good. Or it could be a feather, I guess. Either mountain or a feather. I don't know, it's up to you. You decide what you think it is. Also, we have the scabbard, the sheath for it. Has the same design on it, and then it has a lot more ornamental stuff around the edges. Nicely done. The tip is metal. And then for the lock is this lock guard. So whenever you slide it in, it locks it into place like a safety. So you pull the pin back and then pull the knife out. So it's pretty cool. Moving right along, we have a pocket knife. It's just a pocket knife, just a red, cool looking pocket knife. It's pretty cool. This one my dad carried with him everywhere he went for several years. So I mean, it has sentimental value to me. Plus, it's pretty cool looking, and I just kind of wanted to show it off. So yeah. So if you look here, it has a nice red handle with 4 holes in the middle, and then the rest of this has a very rigid texture. I mean, you can kind of see it whenever the camera focuses. I'm sorry for this if it's out of focus. It's hard to mess with that. It keeps focusing on the swords in the background. But right here you see the blade. The blade is very sharp. It's a very sharp blade. But it has a nice curve to the tip of it and stuff. Yeah, I think it just has a really cool design, and I really like it. I see why my dad carried it with him. Alright, moving right along to the next one. This one was another one that my dad had, and I received after he passed away. So I'm going to show this one off too because it's pretty cool. This one is a butterfly knife. He just had a butterfly knife laying around the house all these years. It's a pretty cool butterfly knife though. I think he just found it because it's very rusty and it's almost like it's falling apart. It's been around for as long as I can remember. He's had it, I guess. According to my mother, he's had it for a very long time. Yeah, let me give you a closer view. So you see the blade here. It's a bit like jagged and kind of rusty. I think because it was found, it wasn't actually bought. The grip has this nice ornate floral look to it. It's pretty nice. It has a nice looking vine. It's pretty sleek. The handle is actually very comfortable to hold. And it has this little latch here that's supposed to latch it together. But it doesn't do a very good job because it just falls out. Well, okay, I can't even show you it that way. But it falls out, whatever it's locked how it's supposed to be. And it just falls open. It's a very poor latch. But yeah, also, I'm not going to do any butterfly tricks. Because 1, I don't know how. And 2, it's dangerous. Kids don't do this at home. Alright, moving on to the next thing. I do have a couple more knives, and I will get back to those, and I'll show you those here in a second. I just want to save the coolest things for last. But this particular thing that I'm about to show you, it has an interesting background. I don't know how my father received it, but this is something that he's actually used before. So right here we have a wooden baton. You know, the spinny batons. The spin, you use and you spin. You get what I'm saying? You understand? So this thing my dad has actually used in a fight. Apparently, I don't remember the exact details of the story because my dad told me it a long time ago, but he ended up in a fight in a movie theater parking lot when he was a teenager because some kids were picking on his friend, and he decided to come to the rescue with his police baton and actually broke the dude's nose. My dad's a bad A, so that was an interesting story that he told me. There's more details to it. He told me a lot more details, but I figured I'd rather just sum it up. There's not too much to show on this one. It's literally just a wooden baton. So I mean, it's not like anything special. It's just a baton. So you know, no crazy engravings or anything. It's just a handle stuck to a stick. It's a baton. Alright, moving on to this next one. My father and I actually made this together a long time ago. I was probably 12 whenever we made it. But we used to have this wood lathe, I believe it's called. It spins wood, and you can use chisels to chisel the shape in the wood. When we were doing it, we got really into making like wands and stakes and things like that. And my dad made this one. It is a dual-sided wooden stake. I guess it's for killing vampires in front and behind you at the same time. Wow. That's what I call quality. We made this with just some random scrap wood we had lying around our yard and a wood lathe. And we made this thing. So I'm going to show it up close. Starting at the tip, sorry about the lack of detail. Camera refuses to focus. These tips are actually pretty sharp. They do hurt if you get hit by them. So yeah, that's an avoidance. Not much to say about this part. It's just wood. Down here, we made a little chisel line to make an indent so we could have some just detail work on it. Right here, he actually wood burned his initial into it, an S for Stephen Martin, that's his name. He usually went by Steve. Here is some string that he wrapped around it for a handle. It's coming off now, but it used to be tied. A little bit more detail work, and then same thing going on the other side. And then there's this weird little chisel here. I don't know what the point of that is. So yeah, that's the dual-sided stake baton. This next one's one of my favorites. I actually love this one. I keep it around all the time. It's really close to me at all points. This one is a wooden practice sword. This thing is not sharp. It's literally wood. It's wood. It's not like meant to be sharp. It's meant to just be blunt. It's a blunt hit. But this thing hurts so bad when you're hit with it. Not that I've actually been hit with it by anyone. I tested it out on my hand to see if it would actually hurt. You know, the crazy things that humans do. But yeah, this one is just a pretty cool one. Like I said, it's literally just a wooden practice sword. But I'll show you the details on it anyways. There's no details, but I'll show you it up close anyways. Alright, you see at the tip here, it's actually a tiny bit sharp. Like if you get hit by it in the right angle, it would hurt as if you were being stabbed, but it wouldn't actually cut you open. Going down, you can just see it's a wooden sword. You can tell where it transitions to the handle because this thing has a little notch coming out. You can see it right there. So yeah, the handle's just smooth. So that's it. That's the whole thing. It's one of my favorites just because of the fact that it's the type of sword that like samurais used when practicing, and I think that's pretty cool. Alright, moving on back to swords. I'm not really sure what to call this one. I don't know the history about it, but it's cool and I'm going to show you it. So this one kind of looks more like a scimitar weapon as well because it has a curved blade. But these right here, these tassels, shouldn't actually be on this sword. We just had these as actual like Christmas decorations, and my dad liked the way they looked and thought they would look good on this sword, so he wrapped it around the handle. I haven't removed it from the sword because, well, it looks alright, so I figured I'd keep it. It's not like I'm going to be swinging the sword around anyways, right? Right? So as you can see here, this is what it looks like outside of the handle. It's a blade. It's a metal sword. What do you expect? It's metal. Okay. So I'm gonna show you this up close. As you can see, again, it's a metal sword. It's metal. It's really sharp. This is not something you should mess with. Luckily, the blade's dull, but the tip is pretty sharp. So it's not something to play around with for sure. But it has a cool curved blade to it, which is nice. There's the tassels again. And then the handle on this thing is immaculate. It's really well done. The handguard here has the curve like most scimitars do, and that's why I keep calling it a scimitar. Between the blade and then the way that the handguard looks, it reminds me very much of a scimitar. And the wooden handle here is very ornate. There is a ton of detail in it. As you can see, it's cut really, really well. It's just well designed. I have no idea where he got it, but it's a really nice one. And then the guard, the sheath, is the same way. As you can see, it has like floral design to it. And it's just really well done. It's carved beautifully. So yeah, this one looks really good and I really like it, but it's not necessarily a favorite. Moving right along, this is the last sword in this selection. This one is just another one, no history to it that I am aware of, but it's just a really cool looking one, and I really like the design of it. This one is kind of like a fighter's sword. Like with this one, you're not expecting to guard, you're just kind of expecting to go all out with this thing. It has another curved blade, which is really, really cool. Between this one and the other one, I like this one much better, just because the blade is heavier than the handle is, meaning whenever you swing, all the power is going to the blade. It's carrying your weight the way a bat would. Like it's light right here, and all the weight is at the end. So when you swing it, it's coming through for a full cut. Basically, with these things, they're not planning to sit around trying to get hit with. You're going all out. There's no blocking. There's just attacking, and that's it. Again, just a metal sword. No amazing details on the metal. And right here, where we transition to it, you can see there's no hand guard. Like, it has a little cup to it, but it's not actually a hand guard. Like, anything could easily get around this and get down to your hand. It's just that tiny amount of protection just in case you need it. And then the rest of this is just wrapped up in some nice straw, and it's just really, really well done. Once again, it's threaded very nicely. It's so smooth and so soft to the touch. As for the sheath, it's some nice red painted wood, and that's pretty much it, with a little bit more threaded around it. Moving right along, we have, I think probably out of this grouping, my third favorite. My first favorite was the wooden sword I showed much earlier. This is my third favorite, and I'm saving my second favorite for the last one in the bunch, and I'll explain why it's my second favorite whenever we get to that. But this is my third favorite because it's a kukri. It's a freaking kukri. It's so dope. I never knew my dad had this. But whenever we were going through his weapons and stuff, I saw this and I really, really wanted it. Because I've always liked the way kukris look. If you don't know what a kukri is, it's a curved blade. It's like a boomerang. If you ever played Assassin's Creed Syndicate or Far Cry 4, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kukri is a curved blade. It's really, really cool. And that's about it. It's just really, really cool. I don't really see what the use of this would be. Again, it has power in that top, so if you swing, it's gonna get power, but I don't know how effective this would be. So if you look, again, normal metal, but it has like a flower with some ornamental design around it. Looks really good, really smooth, apparently made in India. It's really nice. I really like the way it's designed. You can see a little bit more up here close to the hand. Look, here's for chopping. And then the handle itself is designed pretty well. Nothing too special about it, again, but it has some really cool designs to it. And as for the sheath looks like this. Nothing too special about the case, but it has this really cool eagle on it. And I just really like the way it looks. I don't think there's any significance to this, but if there is a significance to this, please tell me down in the comments. That would be awesome. Also, didn't mention it, but it comes with this tiny one that's very rusted. I don't know what the use of it is, but it's around. So there's a small one just right here, tucked into the sheath. Again, I have no idea what the use of the small one is, but it's cool anyways. Alright, and now for the final one. Out of all the daggers and knives and little ones I have around, this is probably my favorite one out of that bunch. Out of all of the ones I've shown today, it's my second favorite, and out of all of my weapons, it's probably my third favorite. My number one favorite of all my weapons, actual weapons. When I say actual weapons, I mean like swords, knives, batons, basically things you're supposed to actually use to fight someone. Out of all of those, this is probably my third favorite and my number one favorite out of that selection. We're not counting like other props that are not actually meant to be used in fights, but obviously no fighting with any of this because we live in the 21st century and we're not in the era of swords anymore. But if we were, my favorite would be the katana that I showed in the last video, the Highlander sword, the Highlander katana. That one's my favorite because it looks so good. Anyways, this is the last one of the video today. This one has some history to it. I don't remember all the exact details, but apparently my mother got this for my father for one of their anniversaries, and he's had it ever since. He's always held on to it, and this one, out of everything, is probably in the best condition. You can tell it's been taken care of, and it's actually been cared for. But I guess even if he never said it, he cherished it. I've never even seen this one until recently, whenever I got it. Same with like the kukri, I had never seen it before. I didn't know my dad had it. But it's a pretty nice one, and I love the way it looks. It has a really good design to it. So this is right here. You can't really tell from this distance, but it has some really good, cool designs to it, which I will show up close. But it's a little dagger. It's a really nice dagger, especially compared to the rest of them. It's very high quality. So yeah, this one definitely had some work put into it, and it's a really cool one. Let me show you it up close so you can actually see the awesome details and understand why it's so cool. Starting with the blade, once again, normalish blade, but it has this little section right here where it just has an open spot. It's solid in there, but it just has a little crevice. One of my friends recently called this a sacrificial blade because it kind of looks like the things they would use in a ritual to take someone out to sacrifice someone. And honestly, he's pretty right. It looks like a sacrifice dagger. But the cool part is this up here. I'm going to turn this. Basically, it looks like an eagle. If you look at the legs, let me turn it sideways again. If you look at the hand guard, it has feet like an eagle does, and then there's feathers right here coming down like it's the body of the eagle. Again, just fantastic ornate work for the handle itself. It looks like it would be uncomfortable to hold, but surprisingly when you're holding it, it just fits perfectly in your hand, and it's really nice to hold. And it's perfectly balanced on both sides. Then right here, the head, let's get some detail on that thing. Is the head of an eagle. Very well designed. There's some amazing detail work in it. It's just very well done. Very well done. It's a really nice one. And then as for the sheath has a Firebird looking logo on it. I think it's just also an eagle, but it looks just like the symbol for a Firebird. My dad actually used to drive a Firebird around, and it was his favorite vehicle until we moved to the country, and then it didn't really drive on dirt roads very well, so it just kind of sat out in the yard and slowly died over the years. But it was a really cool vehicle when we had it, but we no longer have it. It's gone. It's been trashed for years now. But yeah, that's a cool little detail to me. I don't know if he ever saw it. I don't know if my mom ever saw it, but that's what it reminds me of, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's the weapon collection. That is not a reference to any movie or anything. It's not a replica. It's just some cool swords and weapons that I have. And if you think this is it, this is not it. We have another video coming for you. soon, hopefully, as it seems like my schedule, I cannot seem to do anything. But I will try to get out to you soon. It'll be my Marvel and DC replicas. They're not all going to be weapons. Some of them will be like helmets and things like that. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to, you know, give you too much of a heads up of what's going on. But this is stuff I will show you, and the next time I make one of these will be my superhero stuff. So look forward to that, and I will be releasing that sometime soon, hopefully. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed my collection of things, tell me down in the comments below which one your favorite was. I would really like to know which one you like. There's a lot of cool stuff here that my dad had that I now own, and I really want to know what you guys think about it, because, well, I love it, and I'm hoping that you guys think it's pretty cool too. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it very much. Every subscriber helps towards the goal of 2,000 by the end of the year. I have not been uploading. I do not deserve 2,000 by the end of the year, but I sure would appreciate it if you guys would help me out. I've been a little lackluster with my uploads thanks to events going on in my life, but yeah, I'm trying to continue to do them, and hopefully some gameplay stuff will come back soon. But that's not what this video is about. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button. I would appreciate that so very much, because I really need the feedback from you guys. I need to know what you guys actually like and what you don't like, so I can know whether or not these are actually enjoyable to you. Because I mean, I can see the views on the video, but if there's no likes or dislikes, I don't know if you like it or dislike it. Also, while you're here down there hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because that notification bell will tell you when I upload. You don't have to click it if you don't necessarily want to know when I upload, but if you don't, you will not know when I have uploaded a video. As for that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.